Welcome to another episode of the Attic Fables podcast. Today's episode comes with a little controversy. We're going to talk about global warming, and global warming is one of those controversial issues and topics that there's a lot of debate about. The topic of climate change is controversial because you have people who believe in that the planet is getting warmer, and you have people who don't believe the planet's getting warmer. There's some who believe that just by living, you are contributing to the rapid warming of our planet. That's right, because we use fossil fuels that emit CO2 that scientists have determined create a warmer planet, that our use of fossil fuels is making the earth warmer and warmer until someday it's going to get so warm that it'll be impossible for humans to survive. The temperatures will just rise to the level where people will just die because of the planet being so warm. And soon the earth will get too hot for humans to survive. Now there's another view, the other side of the spectrum. There's people who don't believe in climate change, and sometimes these are called climate change deniers. And then there's another group that believes that there is climate change, that the earth is getting warmer, but they don't believe that it's caused by human activity. Well, how could there be such a dramatic difference of opinion? How can there be some people who are blaming our daily life and the use of fossil fuels, blaming human activity for the rise in climate change, and then there's other people who don't believe that the climate is changing. They don't believe that the earth is getting warmer. Can't we just look at the science and see what the science says? Well, unfortunately, the scientists are divided over this topic as well. You have scientists on both sides of the issue. Now, this would be extremely hilarious if it wasn't so deadly serious. Well, just out of curiosity, I decided to check out our church association's website. That's EFCA.org, the website for the Evangelical Free Church of America. And I searched through their database to see if they had anything on climate change or global warming, and I was a little surprised to find they don't really take a position. They didn't have a statement, a formal statement. I did find a message by Dr. Thmu, a well-known and well-respected theologian, and in his message, he encouraged Christians to live responsibly. We're stewards of our planet. God has given us, humans, the responsibility to manage our planet, to take care of our planet. And Dr. Mu encouraged us to find out what the science really says about global warming. Well, not really finding much help at the EFCA website. I decided to check out the Southern Baptist position on global warming. I went to their website, and now the Southern Baptist is the largest Protestant denomination in the world. And what I learned about what the Southern Baptists believe is they have a very balanced position, and it's well worth looking at their resolution that they have about climate change. Well, I checked out other Christian churches and church organizations and Christian denominations to find out what I could find on their websites about if they had a position on global warming or climate change. And some church organizations had some extreme rhetoric saying that It was proven that people are causing global warming because of their use of fossil fuels. And then I found other churches and church organizations that took a more balanced view, a more cautious view, saying that there still needed to be more research done. Well, what should be our response? What should be your response to this controversial topic? Let me give 3 suggestions of how we should respond to this issue of global warming. First, we shouldn't ignore the issue. We can't just pretend that some kind of global warming is actually happening. Ignoring the issue really isn't an option. Second, we shouldn't overreact. We need to be careful not to get caught up in the hysteria. Many people who believe that the earth is getting warmer because of human activity and use of fossil fuels and CO2 emissions are warning that the earth will end within the next 20 years. They say life as we know it will cease to exist on our planet. And they're advocating extreme measures to cut the use of fossil fuels. And if these extreme measures are taken, it will greatly reduce our standard of living and our quality of life. So we need to use caution. Third, we need to be willing to listen to both sides. Don't allow preconceived ideas or political ideologies to sway your opinion one way or the other. We should just stick to the facts, no matter where the truth leads us. I'm from Panama City, Florida, and I still have family that lives in the area. And we've gone through many hurricanes down in Panama City, but nothing like the hurricane that hit in 2018. When Hurricane Michael hit the area around Panama City, it completely devastated the area. It's going to take years, if not decades, for Panama City to recover. And when the hurricane hit, my brother stayed in his house. And after the hurricane, he said he would never want to go through something like that again. It was just so frightening, so scary. He thought his house was going to be blown apart. Many houses were. The whole neighborhoods were completely destroyed. And why didn't my brother leave? Why didn't my brother heed the warnings? Why didn't he evacuate when there was this threat of a deadly hurricane? Well, he didn't believe it was going to be that bad. He thought he would be safe. The reality is, the hurricane was much more deadly, much more dangerous than he expected. We can't simply ignore the warnings about climate change. We owe it to our children and to our grandchildren to learn the facts, find out what is really happening. And if we are contributing to the problem, if because of our use of fossil fuels and because of CO2 emissions, the planet is getting dangerously warmer, then we need to do something about it. I'm Steve Lorenz. I'm just trying to do my part in keeping our planet a safe place to live. I hope that you've enjoyed today's episode of the Attic Fables podcast. Until next time, remember, no matter who you are, no matter where you're from, no matter what you've done,